Hello. Here we are. Who's with us? Have we got people with us? Let us know in the comments if you're here. I am joined by Luke and Sam. Hello, lads.
We are live on Facebook.
We are, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sam got just 9 seconds to spare on the behind the scenes.
I won't tell you what I was doing beforehand, but I was running around with boxes from one room to another. Because obviously, yeah, that was fun.
Just out your van?
No, the van's another whole story. So the windows are going to be coming out. I'm going to be I bought replacement windows, and I'm going to be don't even get me started on that. But yeah, we had some stock that I was running backwards and forwards just now. Not stores, but literally getting them out of this room.
Nice.
I don't want anyone seeing the boxes that are here.
Yeah, mate. There's a few in my background here, as you can see. Hi, Natalie. I'm Matt. Oi, the boys. Facebook user. Can anyone see what it is? Yeah.
I can't see any comments.
Welcome. It's been so long since I've done a live. I was really excited about this. I haven't got a trampoline, but I did my Tony Robbins jumps before I came on the live, and I was cracking up to myself, like getting myself hyped up. Because when you don't do something for a couple of months, sometimes it feels like you get a little bit nervous, even though you've done it loads of times before. But
I was going to do the Wim Hof breathing, but didn't have time in the end.
Dick in the sea.
Yeah, I was going to jump in the canal, but
Yeah. Get yourself psyched up. Cold shower will do, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hello everyone, welcome again. So we are going to talk about our VA pool, which is us free. So anyone that doesn't know what a VA pool is, it's where obviously it's self-explanatory, but for those of you who don't know, we've all got a virtual assistant, a sourcing virtual assistant, which we've employed ourselves. When I say employed, obviously they're self-employed, but it's transfer-wise, etc. So we've all got our own VAs, and what we've done is we've put them all in a pool together, which means that we've got access to each other's sourcing sheets, and we actually share all the deals that we get. Hi, Fran. I can't see anyone else because it just says Facebook user, but I can see your name come up, Fran. Have you got the name there, Luke?
Yeah. Z said hello, boys. Alex Lawson, oi to the boys. Matt Wembley, yo. Natalie, hello. Abu Emma, hi.
Hi everyone. Give us a bit of love so it puts it out to everyone. But yeah, so we've got all our VAs and we're sharing our VAs currently. And we see each other's, hi Ramel, we see each other's sheets and then share each other's deals. So on a good day, I would say we get at least sort of 20 deals between us, don't we, lads?
Yeah.
On a good day. Because obviously we want our VAs to do between sort of 6 to 10 winning deals a day. Sometimes it's not the same, but I'd say a good day we buy 20 deals. But only needing to employ one VA, that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's the sort of idea. What are you saying, Sam?
Definitely opened up huge opportunities for us, hasn't it? It's sellers.
Absolutely, yeah. Even so that's the idea of it. And to start it, I suppose all it is just getting a couple of sellers that you trust, getting a couple of sellers that you really, really trust, isn't it? And that is a key aspect, not just for the price tanking point of view, but who knows where that seller could be sharing them deals elsewhere, etc. So you've got to really, really trust. Obviously, every pool with, but obviously I trusted Luke, I trusted Sam. I've known them for quite a while. But yeah, so that's sort of it. What I thought I'd do now is just put any questions you've got in the comments, and then me and Luke and Sam are just going to sort of chat about how it sort of benefited our business, I suppose.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Far away then, lads. No pressure.
Well, from my point of view, like it's enhanced the growth of my business unbelievably, to be honest. Now I'm at a point now where I'm running out of money, so it's probably like you two as well. Literally, my money, I can just see my bank balance just going like that. And I know that's only going to be a temporary measure, but it's it's definitely eating up my bank balance. But it's all going to be worth it in the end, and I really believe this is a key factor in how my growth is progressing and keeps progressing. So I fully recommend it to anyone out there that have got friends in this communities. Get involved in the deal pool, because, as Hayden says, you're paying for one VA and you're getting 3 VAs worth of deals. Don't expect, like, we went into it having just had our VAs, so I don't know where anyone else is if they've had VAs for a long time, so they might be able to get more deals. But it took time with us, didn't it? The first couple of weeks we were getting 2 or 3 good deals a week, a day each, and now we are getting 6 to 10 brilliant deals a day from each VA, 20 deals a day that we're buying. And to be honest, where we are at, we can't really expect much more than that, because I don't know about you lads, but I wouldn't be able to afford much more deals than that at the moment. So for where we are at now, it's amazing.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what the other two have said, really. Initially, kind of, you have your concerns about a deal pool, because the whole concept behind kind of trusting people and sharing the deals when you go into it so alone at first. Like, obviously you have the Amazon communities and the Facebook groups, what are absolutely amazing, and you get loads of support from people on there. But then obviously it's taking that next step, isn't it, and actually trusting someone enough to share deals with them and kind of accept their deals in return. But like Hayden and Luke have said, obviously we all three of us got a really good relationship with each other. We kind of all clicked really well from the start. And to be fair, it went from strength to strength, didn't it? I went into it really open-minded, never having done anything like that before. And even if I got 1 or 2 deals in addition to what my VA was sourcing from Luke and Hayden, that in my eyes that was amazing, because it's something for nothing when you're only paying for 1 VA. But it turns out you actually get a lot more value than just them deals, if that makes sense. So that the quantity of deals and the quality of the deals completely went over my expectations. And like they said, we're now getting like 6 deals, kind of good deals from each VA easily every day. But it's also being able to bounce off each other, because you've all got different strengths and weaknesses, and it's nice to be able to actually analyze a deal with 2 other people to make purchasing decisions, if that makes sense. So all of a sudden, it's like, even though you have your own individual businesses, it's like being in a business with each other, because you do just bounce off each other, and we make really good decisions, I would say. That's just my opinion. I think we make good decisions between us in terms of purchasing and the direction that we go in terms of different categories. And on that topic as well, you are able to cover more bases, and each person kind of has their own niche that they enjoy selling in. And then all you do is put that VA in that niche, and then all of a sudden you've got 3 really good quality VAs sourcing really good products, and they're not getting oversaturated because there's only 3 of you, and you can kind of manage the prices quite well between 3 of you on a listing.
Yeah.
At the same time, I feel.
Yeah, definitely, Sam. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's a great point there to sort of pick up on. I've learned so much from sort of you two, and then the variety of deals that we're sort of sharing as well, the different retailers, the different categories. You get a bit out your comfort zone with retailers that you didn't originally want to source from, different categories you didn't originally source from, different ways that people read keeper graphs. Like you learn this stuff in like this big pool, isn't it? And yeah, it's great to just learn all these different things about it. Abu says, how do you share the buy box when PPP is an absolute savage and has no friends in winning the buy box? So with that, evening, by the way, Abu, I didn't say evening to you. With that, Abu, even on super aggressive mode, my super aggressive actually, it matches the buy box where it can anyway. So it doesn't always penny drop. It'll only penny drop if it really, really has to. But if you set a good minimum, and we all agree on a minimum, know that none of us are going to absolutely take the price in the pool. then you set that, and the super aggressive won't go lower. And usually it matches the buy box anyway. It's not gonna, it's not necessarily just the price that the super aggressive mode on PPP actually wins the buy box from. It manages to get the algorithmic stuff manages to get more profit anyway. So we haven't had a problem with that. I don't think.
I think it's about using the buy price, the sell price in our spreadsheet, in our Google sheet, and then going 50 pence under it or 30 pence under it. So we know then exactly what each minimums are and each sell prices are, stuff like that. So it's all about liaising with each other and communicating with each other. Because we've had that a few times, haven't we? I've penny pinched, you've penny pinched, everyone penny pinched. So we've had that. Yeah, we've had that sort of, we've had that banter, and then we've been able to fix our issues and get it right. And I think we're at the stage now that if you look at all the listings that we're on, we're all pretty identical. So it's you can't ask for more than that.
And I think on that side of things as well, I think it's working really well, all of us using the same software. So obviously we're all using Profit Protector Pro. So we're all actually kind of using the same software, setting the same prices, and I've got no concerns in regards to the sales. I mean, the sales are coming in every day, and we're actually seeing trends, aren't we, where we're all selling the same product and it's selling between us. It's working.
We're all going to be on the same end of year total, definitely. I reckon within sort of a few thousand, we're definitely going to be within a few thousand of each other.
100%, yeah. That's what's funny. We've all got similar capital, and then we've all got similar capital. We're all sourcing from the same stores, the same products, pretty much the same quantity. So our turnover is going to look really, really similar.
What was the thing we said? Wasn't it? If whoever the winner is has to take the other two on holiday, wasn't it? Was that it?
Sounds like this.
Yeah. We can go in your new van, mate, if you want. South of France.
The van's a touchy subject today, Luke. It's a really touchy subject. Breaking some windows out, but
For anyone that doesn't know, Sam's making a camper van out of a Volkswagen Transporter van for him and his kids to go travels, and his girlfriend.
Oh that should be fun. But I think what we're saying as well, like just back to kind of working together, and we said about obviously the price and stuff like that, but even little things like one thing we're really utilizing between the three of us is cashback websites. That's a huge thing because someone might pick up on something that another person hasn't, and all of a sudden it's little things that soon add up, really, isn't it? And
Sam, as a prime example, found something. He found some extra cashback for us the other day, and obviously shared it with the group. And then we're all making even more money, and that's like it's little things like that. And I think a main thing for me is actually having two other sellers that are like your friends, because as an Amazon sellers, it's quite a lonely world, isn't it? Sometimes you sitting there buying deals. You can make as much money in the world or as little money in the world. It's still quite depressing if you're just on your own all the time. But obviously, we've got this amazing community, a bit biased, but on top of that, it's not really as engaged as being in a WhatsApp group with two other people that are all on the same journey. And we've really built great relationships out of this, haven't we?
Massive.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So that's really nice. Let us know any questions, by the way, you got guys in the group.
Got some comments.
Yeah, let's have a little look. So Facebook user, I can't see who that is. Amazing, great partnership, guys. Facebook user says hello. Luke, you might be able to see who these are.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Kev Blackburn, amazing, great partnership, guys.
Aaron, StreamYard. What's going on?
Aaron Nicholson says hello. Mark Roberts says evening all. David Wilson says late to the party. Soz. Lorraine Con. Hey. Aaron Nicholson, are you sourcing from outside the UK? Should we answer that one?
Yeah. So we source from multiple places all over the place.
Cool.
We chop and change as well.
There you go.
Working, and we chop and change as well. Just jump in there. If something's not working for us, we don't think it's working to its full potential. We're quite open and flexible in the way that we work, aren't we? So if something's not working, we'll discuss it between ourselves and go, right, maybe we should try a different store, maybe a different category,
Yeah.
It's still very early on for us. I mean, it's going really well, but it's still very early on, and we'll just keep making tweaks, I think, won't we, between us until we get something that's working at that time, and then just adjust it as you need to as you go along, because it's such a fluid environment, isn't it? And business module with Amazon, that things are constantly changing. You know, stores that are worth buying from are constantly changing. So
yeah. Definitely.
That's another variant to the pool. As I say, it's just multiple retailers. You're getting everyone's intake and what's worked, what hasn't worked from all over the place.
Mark Roberts says it's like listening to the Dream Team. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Aaron Nicholson, what happens if one of you gets blocked from a store? As Sam just touched on, that obviously we'd speak to each other, and if one of us gets an issue, and then we'll all try and resolve it as a team. Then, if one goes down, we'll all go down, won't we? So it's like a couple of you had an issue with a store, and you weren't ordering as much. You come to me today, and we're changing the category today for tomorrow, so we're going to try something else. So it's all about trying as much as we can, and just working out exactly what works for the three of us. And I think that's worked really, really well with us so far.
100%, yeah. And I love testing as well, because you never know what you're missing out on. I literally like having this variation of, we've essentially shared our businesses and what's working for us with each other, and now we've got I'm having my best day of the year this year, like the best day by far I've had this year, which is great. But I definitely 100 million% would not be having that day if it wasn't for being in this pool with you two. And that's because we've shared each other's what's working, what's not working with each other, and then we're getting rid of the rubbish.
Yeah, definitely.
That pretty much hits the nail on the head there. You are literally just getting rid of rubbish and just having good products going on your Amazon store, like, consistently. What's incredible. And don't forget, a lot of the stuff you get as well, you get a good amount of replenishables, and you can get someone to focus on that element of it. So it's just, you get such a nice balance and variety of products, certain elements and stuff like that. And it makes it a really diverse business, doesn't it? I'd say a much safer business.
Yeah. So if you're not in one at the moment, guys, but you've got a VA, then it could definitely be worth exploring. Just have a think to yourselves: who do I trust in the community, and who would I like to spend some time with? Just obviously virtually to start with, but we're definitely going to meet up. Once this lockdown's over, then we're going to meet up in Sam's camper van. He's going to come and pick us all up. But we're going to sit there.
Put me in the glove compartment or something.
Yeah, so we're going to have a right laugh there. But I mean, why not? It's like, to me, it's a no-brainer. As long as you're not, we wanted to limit it to 3 of us, just because we didn't want to have. I wouldn't even be wanting to have 5 or 6 people in this pool anymore, because the one downside I noticed is that sometimes you can sort of get rid of all the stock in a retailer, and then say the third person that comes on misses out on that stock. Yeah. That's the only downfall. It only happens 5% of the time, but that's the only downfall. And then I just, I send a little annoyed message in the group and then get on with it. I'm joking. I've done it once.
I probably ignore it.
Oh no, Hayden, I'm really sad.
Yeah, I just bought another 20. Sorry about that, man. Just a little insight, though. I don't know how you all are, how you lads are like this, but I've gone from around about 200 SKUs. From having this deal pool, I'm up to about 500 active SKUs now.
Yeah.
And that I would have never ever been able to increase that organically myself.
There's products as well, not crap. You know what I mean?
No, I know it's gone from maybe having 200, but having a select few, say 50 or 100 of a SKU, to now I'm so spread out now. I've got probably 5 to 10 maximum, really, of a product. Yeah. I just think that my sales are getting better, especially for the time of year. It's definitely the way. It's sort of made me rethink my strategy, definitely. And this is how I'm going to go on from this. Now I'm going to go on. I want to get 800, 1,000 SKUs at the same sort of quantities. So it's definitely. It's unbelievable how quickly we've grown our SKUs, and I've got probably another 100 ready to go from the prep center. So it's mad. It really is.
Yeah, and it's exciting that you can be. Obviously, me and Luke, I've got over 500 SKUs. I think Sam's probably over 300, but I think Sam's a little bit more particular with the amount of profit that he wants or something, which is not a bad thing, by the way. It's a really good thing. But what I mean is you can be more particular about what deals you want to take.
Yeah, I think I've been a bit spoiled, haven't I, really?
Yeah.
It's been a journey, I think, but it's it's been a good journey, and I think I'm a little bit behind. I think I jumped on the grocery bandwagon quite late, didn't I? So I've always pushed for kind of the not higher ticket items, but 20, 30, 40, 50 pound sort of products. So I've sat on lower quantities of them really, really focused on replenishable items. So that's been kind of my thing, hasn't it really? But yeah, I'm really excited now. Mine are going up, and it's a scary concept. But it's brilliant at the same time, watching the sales coming in. And what's really nice is you get used to selling in the same category and you're selling the same sort of products. And then when you get into a pool, you start seeing other sales trickling in on top of the ones that you're already selling. And it starts to get really good when you start to see the extra coming in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's that buzz. You share that buzz as well, don't you? When you have a good day of sales, you've all had a good day of sales because you're all selling. You get about 1 million voice messages. But you all share the buzz, you share the excitement. You're all in it together, then, aren't you? So it's I think it's a win-win, really. Especially when Luke pays for the holiday at the end of the year.
Well, if they win, they will. Yeah, I'm not competitive at all.
So Ramel says, do you take cash back in income or deduct it off cost of goods? Now, I personally take it as income for myself. So I transfer it to my personal account, my cash back.
Yeah, same as me.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah,
because that means I have to take less out of the business, which is quite nice.
100%.
I want to get the cash back to a stage that I'm paying for my bills every month. I'm paying for my mortgage, my car, everything. That's where I want to be at, and I think it's definitely going to be achievable.
Your car is quite thirsty, Luke.
Yeah, but I live in Wales, so the mortgages are like so cheap here. It's like 30 quid a month or something there.
You're paying for a mortgage.
Andy says we have 5 people in a pool. We all have different needs, so don't worry about who buys what. I do mainly RA, the others are mainly OA. Most of them use prep centres, can't get some stores to deliver. I have done mine at home. By my brother. So that's cool.
Just a question on that, Andy, if you don't mind answering. Is that the same sort of deal pool as us, or is it one of the deal pools that you just put one deal in a day? Because there are some of them as well, isn't there? Because I've been in a deal pool that was like just one deal a day, which are good as well. And then you've got sort of 5 or 6, 7 people in there, so you're getting 5, 6, 7 deals a day then. But yeah, I'm just intrigued to if he's in a deal pool like ours.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, what just to touch on as well, what's so good about the VA pool? This one is that you can what we've done is we've decided that we won't say the specifics of what we decided today, but we've decided to do a different route. And Luke's VA is actually going to be sourcing in a different category for us now, different specifics. So what's nice is that you can sort of deploy a VA into a new area, let them explore a new area whilst not missing out on your main income from the other 2 VAs, if that makes sense. Because it's hard to explore new areas if you've only got one VA, because they need to give you they need to keep sort of feeding the sourcing for your current business, if that makes sense. So that's something I really like about the pool.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Mark says, do you each give your VAs particular store to search or give them free reins?
You go for that, Hayden.
Yeah. So I've always had luck when I've got my VAs to do one category, and then one retailer. Not always, but to start with, and that's worked for me. I would say a maximum of 3 retailers per category for your VA at any one time, because otherwise if they don't find a deal for 10, 20 minutes, they possibly just jump into loads of other retailers. So what I do is actually say give them a maximum of 3, and then that means they spend longer and as long as they need to actually find the deals until they're used to sourcing from that retailer. And I think you guys do something similar, don't you?
Yeah, to be honest, before I started this, I was thinking of a general. I just don't like the idea because you do get that, especially the first couple of weeks. They sort of, you know what VAs are like. They really worry about their performance, and they tend to, if they don't, as you said, if they don't find something in an hour, then they're panicking then, and then they just start to put up bad deals, in my opinion. So, 3 stores maximum. Sometimes, if it's a really good store like we do, half the time our VAs they just source in 1 store each. Half the time, because of the categories we were in. But yeah, up to 3 stores maximum. And in my opinion, obviously this is all about opinions, but I definitely want to have a VA looking all around. You know,
everyone thinks that they've got a better chance of finding deals if their VA's all around. That's what I thought to start with. But you're actually in my opinion, that's a completely wrong thing to do. The reason that's wrong is because they never become an expert. You know, you don't want a generalist. You want a specialist. And what I mean is it could take them 2 or 3 months, but once they're a specialist in Sainsbury's, for example, in grocery, and Sainsbury's and Asda, for example, then that means that they're going to get to know the brands, they're going to get to know the price ranges, they're going to get to know the sort of brands that work well, the prices that bundle together, etc., what bundles work well. Do you know what I mean? They start getting used to these things, and that's why we do what we do, and that works really well for us.
I think from a purchasing side as well, obviously, because we are the purchasing managers at the moment for our businesses. You don't want your VA to say they're getting 10 deals a day in 10 different stores. That's just a nightmare from a purchasing side. So if they're purchasing from 3 or 4 retailers, it's a lot easier to buy then from an admin point of view and a purchasing point of view as well.
100%, yeah. 100%. And so Mark says, do you give each of your VAs particular stores to search for? Oh, sorry, I've just read that. How many deals do you share? This is Facebook user. There's no StreamYard.
Aaron Nicholson.
Oh, it's Aaron, is it? How many deals do you share? Evening, Aaron, by the way, I didn't say that. How many deals do you share per day? All that your VA finds, or just selected amount? Yeah, we share all of them, Aaron. Your sourcing sheet that your VAs use, we all have access to our own one, but there's no hiding it. You know, once whatever the VA puts on, we all see. So
we see all the good and all the bad.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah.
That pretty much comes up, doesn't it? It's like everything. So we all have our own Google sheet, don't we? And we've all got access to each other's sheets. And I tell my VA he aims for 10 deals a day. Pretty much every day now he's getting 10 deals. Not all of them are amazing, but I'd say we're buying about 6 of them a day, 6, 7 of them a day.
Yeah. I think I bought 9 of yours today, Sam.
And the same with the other guys. So they'll just bounce on their sheets. I'll do mine first because obviously you can go into that in a bit, Hayden, about how we kind of input our opinions on the products.
Sure.
So I'll try to get on there as quick as I can to buy mine, and then you kind of say how many you'd buy and if it's a good deal, bad deal. And I think that was your idea, Hayden, or Luke, wasn't it? Kind of having that on the sheet.
Yeah. So I comment on the sheets. We're just touching that quickly. So we all have our spreadsheets, and I what we try to do, we don't always do it, to be honest, because it's obviously we're all busy and it's time consuming, and Sam's a fireman as well, so he's fireman Sam. we have to put the amount of deals that we've bought as well. We try and put them next to it whenever we get around to it, and then we put if it's a good deal, bad deal, and then feedback for our VAs, and then they're getting better and better as we go. Mark says, are you guys prepping yourselves or using a prep center? Yeah, now that's another funny thing. So we all use the exact same prep center as well. Sam does still prep a little bit himself. But he's switching over to a prep centre. I don't know the ins and outs of his plans, but he's switching over to a prep centre, and we all use the same one. And once again, that means that we've all got the same fees, and we're all in the loop of what's going on with the prep centre. So our whole system of sourcing and purchasing is the same, and that means that we can all help each other out. So
yeah.
Go on, Sam.
To touch on that, it might concern people, everyone having different ways of prepping. I know, was it Mark earlier that mentioned that he has his brother-in-law prepping for him, and the others have used a prep centre. For us, it hasn't had any real impact. So I've prepped in-house, because of the influence of my fiance. But I'm currently in the transition of going over to the prep centre, the same as the other two there. But it hasn't had any impact on us, has it really? Having different prep, if that makes sense. Me doing it in-house and then doing it via a prep centre. All it meant is that on my BuyBot Pro, there's a bit of a few teething problems early on because I didn't have the right prep fee set in my product. So when my VA was sourcing, it was skewing the figures that Hayden and Luke were getting. So it was a bit of playing around with the BuyBot Pro, but we worked together. I had some really good input from them, and now I'd say we've kind of got it pretty spot on, haven't we? So I've set the prep center fee to kind of when I am using a prep center, so all the profits align, if that makes sense.
And that's another point as well. Yeah, we're all VAT registered as well. Now we weren't when we started it. Some of us were transitioning, I think, but we're all VAT registered. So if you are looking to start a VA pool, I would suggest probably going with someone that's at the same level as you, got the same ish sort of level as you, same sort of funding as you, and then they've got the same sort of mindset as you. And that's what I recommend, because then you could not only because you can put your own fees in, but you've got similar goals and you've got to spend quite a lot of time talking to them people every day. So you want someone that's got similar goals, don't you?
Yeah, it's exactly the same software as well. Repricer and deal analyzer. I can never say that. It's me being Welsh. Deal analyzer. So I think that's essential as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and the thing is, sorry, this is a bit random, but what you were touching, obviously, Luke, I know you've just got into wholesale a little bit as well, and I'm just about to sort of do a first order of proper wholesaler, But I don't know about you, but before we did this poll, I was sort of really swaying towards the wholesale route, thinking that was the best route. Now we've got this poll. Don't get me wrong, I still want to do wholesale, but I'm so much more excited and can see the potential of OA just because it's significantly increased our earning potential in our business effectively. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I think it was sort of swaying towards, we both had, the same sort of plans for wholesale, and it's definitely swayed a little bit more towards OA. I'm so focused now to getting this automated.
Yeah,
I want to get this automated and at its fullest potential.
Yeah,
and then I can go on to something else. I think in the past, I was always sort of one of them guys that I would do so many things. I'd be like spinning plates, but now this business has made me focus solely on OA. I just want to master that and then go on to something else. You see a lot of people just jumping into things and they're going for this, they're going for that, and in my experience, it doesn't really work. So I'm sort of focusing solely on OA at the moment. I am doing a little bit of we found a decent wholesaler, haven't we?
very good.
So I am going to do a couple of orders a month with them just to get the ball rolling, but I'm not going to be focusing on finding new wholesalers and things like that for the minute anyway.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's just basically, as Sam said earlier, you're sport for choice when you're in this. Obviously this is just for our level. Like we're at the level where we're probably all going to be doing in a few months way over 30k a month, or I don't know, 30, 40k a month. That'd be my guess in a couple of months. So obviously we're only at one level, but to get to a nice level, to earn a nice income, we're sport for choice really. And also, it's given us more opportunities to, as Luke actually found an amazing wholesaler and shared that with me, and I've shared a lot with him in the past. And once again, it's just them relationships, just helping each other out. Sam shared some great stuff with us in the pool. We hope that we've shared some great stuff with him. Just these relationships that we're building. It's great. So it's not just the pool. It's not just the deals. It's the relationships behind all of that, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Just makes it.
We build trust with each other now, haven't we? To be honest, I speak to you lads probably more than my mates now. So it's like, it's going really well, and that's what's great about these communities. You can go into them on your own, and then you can come out with a whole bunch of new friends and people that are going to help you on your journey. All you got to do, any of us three here or anyone in these communities, you just got to DM us and ask if you ever need anything. So.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Andy says, this is what one of my VAs hired who does 30 deals a day. I guess it's not a VA pool, it's just a shared VA. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was his reply to you, Luke. But I'm looking for a separate VA to do other sourcing specifics to me. He says, Christos says evening. Evening, Christos. Probably a bit late. He's probably gone now. He might stay because he's interested in getting VAs. And he says hi to Christos. And then Facebook user, who's this, Luke?
Aaron Nicholson.
Oh, right. Aaron says, Luke, I remember your video last year with Hayden. You were loving RA. Is this something you're going to keep doing, or are you all in with OA?
It's a bit one for me. I do love doing RA, so it's a bit difficult at the moment because of all the rules and stuff in Wales, so we can't. I think we get a prison sentence if we do any RA at the moment. It's a little bit hard to go into a supermarket and start scanning things when you're getting watched and that. So I don't fancy doing some time, but I'm definitely going to do some because I had so much success with different different deals and things like that. I'm definitely going to do some if I can, but I'm not really focused on that. I want to build my OA business. That's where, because I want to be able to work from a laptop anywhere in the world, travel. So but if there's a good deal on, I'll be the first at one down Tesco's or something, taking it off from the shelves. But I'm not really focused on that at this time. But to come back in anyway.
Yeah. So I think we lost you a second there, Sam. Did you, Luke? Did you see that, Sam? Was that
cut out for me as well.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
You for a second at the end, but I think it's fine. But to touch on that point, I'm personally, for me, I'm not interested in anything that isn't scalable and outsourceable. RA is, don't get me wrong, it is. But if you're going to do it, then I'm like, just go all in and do that. Don't sort of, do you know what I mean? That's just what I'm like. I think, as Luke just said, you only start getting results in something when you're 70, 80% all in on that thing. So I think if you want to do RA, then do that, but make sure you're doing it properly rather than dabbling. That's just what I think, and there's a lot of people that do it properly in the communities. But that's what I think you mean. You're so focused on outsourcing, Luke, same as me, same as Sam, but it's like RA is a distraction unless that's going to be a serious part of
it's something that I definitely want to do and build a part of my business doing RA, but not at this time. But there are some amazing deals you can get out there, and I highly recommend if someone's just starting out. That is one of the first things I recommend them doing. Just go into the stores and scanning things and going from there. That's where I learned. Along with things like pre-owned things, I think a lot of that gets lost, pre-owned arbitrage and things like that. So it's an amazing tool to start off with, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I think for me, I see obviously the way things are going with OA now for us is incredible. I started with RA myself, and then I think I spoke to you really early on, Hayden, didn't I? And said, I just can't seem to source through OA, and then eventually kind of got the ball rolling with that, and that massively took over. I still did a bit of RA, but now that we're doing so much RA, and literally there's so many products that we have going onto these deal sheets in the pool that like we said, our cash flow, sometimes it's hard to keep up. I now see RA as kind of more of a hobby, if that makes sense. If I pop out and I see something, and I still get that enjoyment, that buzz from seeing a product scanning, going, oh wow, that's a really good one. So I think I see it as more of a hobby now, but I don't incorporate it into the actual business module itself. My business module is solely OA at the moment. But I throw in the odd RA if I'm out and about and see something that adds a bit of value.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, I remember I walked into Screwfix some time ago, and it was pretty new actually. And I saw these. They were like Yell. I think it was Yell. It was like these little alarm bell things. They were tiny, and they were in the reduced section. They were 1 penny each, and I sold all of them. Not on Amazon, because Amazon had the buy box. Amazon had the buy box at $19.99. And I bought them for a penny. And I was like, oh no, Amazon's got the buy box, almost like chucking them away, And then someone said, look, put them on eBay. And I put them on eBay and sold them for about 15 quid each. And that was like my first ever RA trip. But that is the potential of RA compared to OA. There is sides, but also it's scalable, but it's not as so obviously scalable. If that makes sense.
I think you've got to have a warehouse or a prep center to really scale that, and get the full potential out of RA. So,
don't get me wrong either. There are some people who are really successful at RA, and I cannot take away from them at all. And I admire them for what they do. But for me personally, OA is kind of the way that I've gone. But there are some, really successful RA sellers out there. I just want to point out, and
I'll tell you what we should do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a live. I'm going to get 3 OAs and 3 RAs, and then we're going to have an OA and an RA off. Good idea. Great. I'm going to do that because I think they're both great, but I'd love to hear the ideas of the debates against each other. So Aaron says, sorry, I've just read that. I keep doing this. Andy says, sounds great, guys. Well done. Cheers, Andy. Here we go. Guy says, evening, guys. Evening. Crystal says, I'm here. Facebook user says, evening, guys.
Mark Edgson.
Mark, no. Hi, Mark. Mark Roberts says, the Neath COVID Karens will have you, Luke. Do you know what you mean?
Yeah, that's true. People on Facebook moaning about, COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. Salvatore says, I'm in Tesco doing a shop and was doing some scanning and got told off by security for touching things. Oops.
Wow. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I never ever got asked about what I was doing with RA, and I used to be, like I said, really obvious what I was doing. Sometimes I'd have my laptop with me and stuff. I just don't know. No one ever approached me and said, "What are you doing?" So it's great.
I loved a bit of RA over Christmas. It was I literally walked into Tesco's and walked out with £1,000 worth of chocolate in their cages. Had to do 2 cards. Wow. They didn't question me. It was spot. I absolutely loved it. But,
and what was your excuse?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, what did you say you were buying it for?
Business.
Yeah, that's the thing. Around Christmas, you can just say you own a company and you're a manager of a company and you're buying it for 40 staff. But other times, I just say I'm comparing the price. All right, I'm comparing this price. The price is all over the internet. That's what I'd say. I never had to do it.
I think I took about 200 units off them though, straight away. So
it's a big company. It's a big company.
Yeah, that's what she said. Big company. I was like, yeah, loads of staff. Yeah.
What's the company name? One of the big ones.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I know.
Anyway, I think we've turned this chat into an RA vs OA chat by accident. Let's try and bring it back. Andy says, "I love RA." Right, that's the end of the RA chat and the OA chat. Evening, guys. Good live. Enjoying it. Who's that, Luke? Luke's Facebook checker.
Stuart Pryor.
Stuart. Hi, Stuart. Evening,
Hi, Stuart.
Mark says, what kind of costs are there for VAs? I think between $300 to $500 a month seems to be the average to pay, depending on how many hours they do. Some are really, really part-time, and then some are part-time. Some are doing a bit more. Depends how many deals you want them to find.
I pay mine £380 a month.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my admin one is less, but she does less hours, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Crystal says RA is my oxygen. Interesting.
I'm Dr. Pepper.
The RA guys are trying to draw it back into RA. They're like, stop talking about it.
Yeah. Andy says, my girlfriend loves RA. Yeah, another RA because we got lots of other cities and makes money while we do it. RA is faster. That's enough of RA.
Yeah. It's making me want to go out and do some RA.
Right, screw this. Let's go do some RA. See you later.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Luke arrested for RA.
Thomas Parkinson's bringing it back to VAs. We're smashing it, guys. Loving the VA chat. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Crystal says most supermarkets have apps to scan the prices anyway. And then Chai says, "Love RA. You go out for a pint of milk, then 3 hours later you come back with a card load of stuff." Crystal says, "Got to shoot. Keep up the great work." Yeah. So chat. Yeah. So generally, to sort of summarise, anyone that wasn't on there, what we've created a VA pool. It's working really well. We've created relationships. Our profits up. My ROI is at a maximum that it's never been before, like ever. And I think that's basically because I was either sourcing myself or just sourcing sheets. I didn't have loads of VAs. Now I've got VAs. Now we've all got VAs. Our VAs can spend the time going to loads of different stores, making sure we're getting the best deals everywhere, which is bringing up the ROI, bringing up the profit, bringing up the net profit at the end of the month. That's what I'm finding anyway. My sales are going. We're not missing out on as many deals. We're getting new opportunities with stores. We're getting new opportunities with new categories, relationships. We all love each other now. We're really good friends. That's the sort of main takeaway. So I would say, look, if you do want to start one, then just think about a couple of people that you've been quite close to, and that you've got a really good relationship with, and just think about maybe starting it. You could even start a pool with just 2 of you, or 3 of you, or 4 of you, or 5 of you, but you don't want your listings to get too saturated. So that's the sort of my summary. Have you got anything to add, lads, just to finish off?
Yeah, I just want to say, to really emphasise on what you just mentioned about the quality of the products that we're getting now.
Yeah,
I think the best way to explain that is if you're working on your own, you have one VA and they source 10 deals a day and not all of them are good, you feel a bit pressure into buying that aren't necessarily
or no VAs. Yeah,
or no VAs. You feel pressure into buying them because you need products. You need products to sell, so you'll buy them even if they're on the line.
100%.
Now we've got 30 deals on a sheet, and some of them that are good, like really good, I'll still discard and say, you know what, I don't need to buy that.
Yeah.
Because I've got these ones that are like absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And that's just what you get when you're in a pool, because the quantity of deals that are coming in from 3 VAs, and it's absolutely blown my mind. And just really grateful to be part of it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I think you've got to look at it this way. £400 or £380 or £1,200. Can you imagine over a space of a year how much that's going to increase and enhance your business? So look at it like that. If you're friends with anyone, just get involved, give it a try, because you literally haven't got nothing to lose, and it's really going to go from strength to strength with us, and it's going to get our businesses to a point that we could have never got to without each other. So it's a little bit soppy, that wasn't it? But
that was very important. But no, I love it. And also, just as an idea, if you're not at the stage where you're sort of not ready to get a VO, you don't want to get one yet, I understand that. I was the same. I didn't get one for quite some months. Why don't you start a pool where you're sharing your deals with another seller and you're both manually sourcing them yourself? You could still start a pool with another seller without having any VAs, and that will speed up your sourcing process and give you the ability to build. So that's anyone that's starting out. You could still start a pool when you're manually sourcing yourself with another seller or 2 other sellers. And I wish I knew that when I started.
That's a really good idea. And also then you can help each other in the process of hiring a VA and the training the VAs and what to look out for It's just a bit of a win-win, really, isn't it?
100%. Ruben,
obviously, what steps would you say people should take? Obviously, because it's quite a daunting process starting the pool. I know we say just to have that conversation, but like this, you had it planned out, not planned out for us, but we spoke about it, didn't you? You initiated the conversation and asked us if we'd be interested, and then about like kind of the Google Sheets, creating something that's shareable and accessible, isn't it? It's just putting a bit of structure to it.
Yeah. So all you want to do is you need to create a Google Sheet that's a shared sheet with everyone. Get used to it yourself, either you or the VA, putting the deals on there. Give it 2 or 3 weeks to let your VA sort of find their ground, maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Once they're okay and they're not putting rubbish in the pools so that you don't have to churn through a load of rubbish, just get started and just share each other's sheets. It's as simple as that. There's nothing really complex and technical about it. It's just sharing a Google Sheet, in case anyone wondered.
Yeah, support is a massive thing for each other, isn't it, as well? And just as Sam mentioned earlier, I think it's enhanced my analyzing of products now. Like, I'm at the stage now that I'm a lot 100 times better than I was before the pool, because I've had two other eyes and ways of how you look at products. And that's what's helped massively. Like, you can analyze a product now, and it takes like a minute. If it's a good or bad deal. So and before, I think I used to overanalyze things, and I used to overcomplicate things and overthink things, and this is what this deal pool has really helped me out as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And someone might be having the question, just to finish off, what happens if my VA sort of leaves and then I don't have a VA, and is that the end of the VA pool? I think absolutely not. In a way, it bulletproofs your business having a pool, because if one of our VAs left, like tomorrow, me, Luke and Sam, we wouldn't kick each other out. You know what I mean? We'd just say, right, that's all right, mate. Don't worry. Go and hire another one, and we'll be patient and wait for you to onboard them. And even if it takes a month, then we will sort of be there for each other, and we will give that person deals until they get a VA back. Obviously, if they're not taking the mick, obviously, but as long as they're actually trying to get a VA, it bulletproofs your business, so you still have a stream of deals when you don't have a VA yourself. So it's a bulletproof as well. What are you saying, Sam?
I was going to say, yeah, that pretty much is spot on. Like, when we've actually had it ourselves. I've had my VA, it's a much smaller scale than, you losing the VA and having to hire another one. We had this conversation very early on, what would happen in that situation, and we was all under the understanding that we would support each other through. So, like, my VAs had to have a couple of days off due to, personal circumstances, and I know that the other guys, and all we do is just put a message on the WhatsApp, be like, really sorry guys, my VA won't be putting any deals on for the next 2 days because of this, that, or another. And everyone's like, fine.
But we're not worried, because we've got 2 other VAs that are still putting.
Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes it's like, oh yes, that's one less 10 deals that I've got to buy.
Yeah.
Looking at the bank account like that, yes.
For 2 days. Wow.
Sometimes I'm so thrilled it's the weekend.
Yeah. So, like, I wake up every morning, I've got my VAs messaging me, I've got all the sheets coming in with all these deals. Yeah. It's so overwhelming. So the weekend's a proper switch off, isn't it?
It is like we are like full-time purchasing managers now, isn't it? Like, I cannot wait. I don't know about you two, but I cannot wait until the transition of sourcing to purchasing manager. I know that takes a long time, but all it is literally 4 or 5 hours every day buying deals.
Yeah, we do joke about it most days, don't we? One of us is always like, oh, wow, here we go again.
Yeah.
Another slog of purchase. I mean, it's a great problem to have, though, isn't it? I mean,
you've got to be grateful. But I mean, for example, before this call, I was sitting there buying like 7 out of 10 deals are really good. And I'm sitting there, it's like 30, 40, 50% ROI. It's amazing. I'm sitting there like, oh, this is so much effort. And then I have to put myself back into reality. Like, look, you would have loved this when you were starting out. It would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, last question. Mark just says, what sort of buying budgets did you have when you started hiring VAs? I was probably about 7 to 10 grand a week potentially, just because you could put all the money back in the business once you take your disbursements out. I'd say I could spend about 7 to 10 grand a week. What about you two?
Yeah, about 8 to 10 a week comfortably. Well, not comfortably, but you know what I mean. It's I've had some issues with disbursements. Like, say for instance, I'm just saying a number. I've got 4,000 in my account balance, and it's only letting me do like a £300 disbursement and things like that. So it's that's quite frustrating. So but I think sort of 8 to 10,000 a week. I want to be at when I have a purchasing manager. I want to have her to have 10k a week to spend. So
yeah, I think I'd say about the same. I'd say realistically, I think the big thing on what Luke and Hayden have just said is cash flow in the pool. Cash flow is so important. So I personally take disbursements every day, just so that I can pump it back every day, like every single day. I'm on there every 24 hours. It is, isn't it? So I know you take wait 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks for that.
I remember when I started, I was like, you have to pinch yourself sometimes, don't you? Because my daily disbursements are between sort of 300 and 600 quid now, like daily. And I'm sitting there going like, when I started, it was like, daily disbursement, £34. And it was like, you know what I mean? That's looking at where you've come, and that's nice as well.
Did any of you? I didn't realise that you could take daily disbursements for like the first 2 months. I can't remember who told me.
I remember it was you.
And they were like, "Oh, you can actually take it out every day." I was like, "What?" I was like waiting, and it was like £2,000 each time or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, the 10 more days, and I'll be able to like some more products." And literally, I could do it every single day.
It was me that you said that to. You were like, "Oh, mate," you were like, "How do you manage these disbursements?" And you were sitting there like, "I've got 10 days till I can get any money out."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and you were like waiting 2 weeks for every single. That was so funny.
I think you've helped me quite a lot. You said about my inactive listings as well. I must have had about 500. And he was like, you've got to get rid of them, don't you? I was like, what? Yeah, you got to take the listings. And I was like, oh, no.
Because I spoke to Luke when he was like just starting out, literally. I've been doing it about 7 months, I think. But he was like just starting out. And it was like, it was great, yeah. Awesome, right. I've got to go for dinner, so I think we're going to leave that at that. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Thanks for coming, lads.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
If anyone wants to know any, if they want to ask any further questions, just DM any of us and then
we'll drop it in the group, put it on the group, DM us, wherever. Happy to help anyway. Happy to wherever, help where we can. Obviously, we don't get anything from this. We're just sharing what we know. So, thanks for jumping on anyway, lads. And I'll see you in the WhatsApp group.
See you, lads. See you later.
For RA.
No questions of RA, no.
You two can stay on here and talk about RA.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.